I've been in my field in the area of clinical psychology for quite a few years. I don't know, 20, 30 years or so. I've done a lot of teaching in my field. I've done some research. I am a writer, and I've also done clinical therapy work. I decided to discover something different, and I became a sex and intimacy coach. The sex and intimacy coach allows me to use things like tantra, body work, and some fun other venues that I found to be very useful to work with clients. So that, and I also am a writer for a magazine in Spanish, and I have also a nonprofit, and the nonprofit is Latinas with Purpose, and I write for a magazine, Latinas con Poder. So if you ever want to read any of my stuff, but they're in Spanish. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Very cool. So tell us about what you do with the coaching that you do, and how does that work, and who's your typical client?
Well, I have different types of clients. I think with my field, having the background in the clinical area and sex and intimacy, I'm having lots of women and also couples. The area of the people that I really like to work with are couples, especially those couples where some health issue starts to show up, where they find that intimacy is no longer a possibility, where they kind of give up on life, on that part of their life, and they kind of surrender to that and let it go, accept it, and it becomes non-existent. And that to me is so much fun because it's a discovery. It really becomes this mysterious discovery about each other as partners, totally newly, because they don't have this new script that they have to perform in a certain way. They know that there's a health reason. So they really get to really recreate themselves newly. So that to me is like so, so exciting when I get to work with couples.
So this kind of reminds me of the movie Chocolate, where she has all these chocolates in her shop, and there's this couple comes in, and they're all at first they're all reluctant about coming in, and then she takes some of the chocolate home for the husband, and all of a sudden it's boom, everything sparks. So tell us, is what you do something similar?
Well, not like in the magic in the movie, and I did see the movie. But you know what? There is some sense of reality in it because you get to discover yourself newly. So let's look at the person who is having the health issue and takes that chocolate. In this situation, is the discovery of themselves differently. Is now that they're going to have to get to know their partner in a different way. They're going to get to enjoy their partner through looking, through smelling, through tasting, through hearing, through touching, through having different conversations. So it's no longer about the orgasm or having to perform in a certain way. It's about really becoming sensual because that doesn't go away, even if there's some health issues. So that's where the chocolate comes from, is about really discovering yourself, new pleasures of life, spiritually. And it's like this erotic intelligence that you develop through this way. And that for me is like magical. That's where the chocolate is. And what happens with the other person, the one that does not have the health issue, oh my God, does he or she get to be the king or the queen in the relationship? They get to be adored. They get to be like connected. They get to experience their partner in a way that they've never discovered them. So it is fascinating, fascinating. So that's what I consider the chocolate.
That's where the chocolate comes from.
Yes.
So where do you see it for me? I'm thinking, is there an age range that is associated with your therapy, or is this all across the board?
I don't, there's, it generally, there is no age range. And the reason I'm saying is because I've done some work for the school district in the past, and it's working with mothers and daughters, where the daughters didn't want them to get pregnant. So I did this program for them. It's called Do You Really Need a Boyfriend? So it's talking with mothers and the daughters how to be able to have a conversation where this reality of hormones. So when we're talking about the theme, sexuality is so broad, Roxanne. It is just so broad and wonderful. So sometimes it's that. Then I also, as a speaker, like right now, right before I talk to you, I got a church call me and say, our church really needs some sex education. Can you provide that? And in that age range, we're talking about, they mentioned the people that are older, women that have gone through menopause and they're older. So they're saying, like, can we include them? I said, of course. So every age range has a different need,
Mhm.
and that's what makes it so special and so exciting to work with people. So yes, I with that, and I can work with people even with our differently able too. I have a son who's differently able, deaf blind, and I even share a lot of tricks and things for him to connect beautifully with his partner. So
That is so amazing. So, what brought you to this area, and did you have to get some special education yourself to be able to provide services in this area?
yes, in order for me to become a trained therapist, you get a spectrum of, learning. You have to go through academic training, and the academic training in there you have sexuality. So it's part of the, when you become a doctor, you learn about everything. What got me into this particular area, it's really came from the questions that I was being asked, and kind of like it almost felt like, Roxanne, like the world was asking me, like, go this direction, go this direction. Like I would have, and this is what I was doing my teaching, or when I was doing like work in the clinic. They say, hey, Luz Maria, can you come to this group and talk about sexuality? Sure. So they would just show up. My son, who's differently able, he's deaf and blind. He say, Mom, a lot of my friends, they're asking me a question because they know you're a psychologist. Would it be okay if I have them talk to you about sexuality, because they don't know anything. They just know about taking the pill to not get pregnant, and I just don't know how to answer.
Mhm.
I have friends asking me, so it's just like the world kept asking me, like mothers, like, I don't know how to tell my daughter, explain to her about her period. That, and then I'll share something really, really personal. Is this world of orgasms. I am a woman that experienced that to a place of wonder. So I had women asking me, like, how do you become orgasmic? So it's like the world was asking me, Roxanne, and like, so I made the
How do
decision
you
to,
become orgasmic? That's a very good question. How do you answer that? How do you become orgasmic?
uh, it really is a function of our own body. It is a natural function of our body, of how the brain is actually connected to our organs, to our uterus, to our clitoris. I'm going to be speak out here, to all of your audience, just the way it is. It's just the way the body is just connected. And what happens is, see, a lot of women, when they're being intimate with their partner, they're in the moment, and then suddenly they're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to take care of the kids tomorrow, I got to go to school, then I got to work, then I got to do this. So they lose the connection that they're with their partner, and then they go, is like, then they're no longer feeling connected,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh my god, I wish this just be over and done with.
I gotta go pick up the kids. I gotta go feed the dogs. I gotta.
Whatever may be, so they come disconnected. So the way the brain works is there's actually this internal connection in the limbic system that is like this cycle. So when you're actually are aroused to become orgasmic, you go into this little cycle of the brain. But the moment you start thinking about, oh, the duties I gotta do, the cleaning I gotta do, the work, you actually disconnect physically in the brain, disconnect, and you're up here in the forebrain thinking about all your responsibilities. So you lose this ability to become orgasmic. You don't no longer connected to your body. So, yeah.
That is fascinating. So, speaking of being distracted, I have to ask you because I am looking at this picture behind you and it is taking me to faraway places or wonderful places. So, give us some background about this wonderful picture because it's taking me places.
Yes, yes, yes. For those, it's I love it. It's actually a bridge, and on the other side of the bridge, you can actually see a tree. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
love,
now I see it.
yeah, and I really loved it, Roxanne, because that for me is I see myself as a bridge. I see myself as I'm someone that is a bridge that crosses from one place. And it also reminds me to get to the other side, to always be ready to go. So it's really, when I saw it, I just fell in love with that and just the meaning it had for me. And also, when I work with people, I usually always work with this background because it's like we are going to get to the other side. We will see the other side. We'll get into the
And
other tray.
and on
So,
the other side there's a beautiful tree and tranquility, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, very, very.
Right.
So I looked at your website and I wanted to share your website with the audience because, if they want to contact you or if they want to get in touch with you, that's one of the ways that they can get in touch with you. And is this your correct website? Do I have it correct?
Yes, yes, it's www.discoverpassionwithdrluz.com.
All right.
And my Instagram, if you want to follow it, it's Discover Passion with Dr. Luz. So you can follow me on Instagram, kinds of a lot of stuff there are in Spanish, but you can always press a translate and it goes both. I have both of community that, since I speak two languages, that kind of I end up working with.
Mm-hmm.
And there's less of information I feel like here locally in Spanish, so I just kind of like embody that, but anyone can read that and translate it. So
Very
yes.
nice. Okay, so let me see if I can bring your website and show that to the audience and share that. So in the meantime, while I am trying to figure that out, and I apologize for taking it. So tell us a little bit about how is this something that you cover through insurance or how do they?
Hey, yeah, it's not insurance covered. It's we can pay through PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, through other means, but it's not insurance.
Got it.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
Oh my God, this is a retreat. This next retreat, that information is older, so we're going to redo that one by the end of the week. The next retreat is July 23rd through the 30th, and it's called Discover the Goddess Retreat. That is this a 7-day program, and it really starts even prior to it. So what it is we go to Costa Rica, and 3 months prior to us leaving, we start creating connections with women, and it's really to embody this new feminine and of who we are as women, to understand us, look at our history, heal some of the things of our past with women, heal relationships with our own female women that we have in our lives. We also talk about orgasms, 1 day dedicated. We do adventures. Then we do Discover the Goddess. So what they're going to get out of it is to experience this new healing of what it is to be feminine, what it is to be orgasmic, what it is to find yourself as a woman of connection and love and be giving, try to heal some of these gender issues that we have between men and women. So it's a beautiful connection, it's a beautiful experience. So yes, it's I'm really encouraging a lot of women. I only have 16 spots, so I actually have four women with that already said that they're going to sign up. So if anyone's interested, you want to talk to me about it, please go on my website. I do the first 30-minute um, call for free, so you get to find out if we're a good fit. That's always fun.
I like what is said here. Sex is good, sex is important, and I am sexy. That is powerful,
Yeah.
because a lot of, I would imagine that not everybody feels that way or can say that. So that's really important.
Yes, that's right, Roxanne. Is to feel feminine, to feel sexy, to feel, and a lot of us women, because we're not fitting the pattern of what society says you have to look, we really do a lot of hurt to ourselves. And then also, it's just it's an opportunity, just more than anything, to reconnect with who we are.
Got it. Excellent. So these retreats are quite interesting, and
Yes.
I see a lot of yoga mats. Um,
Yes, we do. In order to really connect with the body, where we talk, remember, just mentioned to you a little bit about the orgasm. There's this shift in the brain that needs to happen. In order to stay connected to that, it's really to know how to connect with your body. So we do energy work, body work, and we do what's called the Kundalini energy. So we do some of that work. And so we need mats. So we need to stretch. We need to move our bodies. And with me travels a belly dancer.
oh, how cool is that? Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's really about generating that joy, that celebration of us as being flowing and connecting. In doing it in a place like Costa Rica, it lets you get away, and it's just like so much fun. It's exciting. It's like understanding why we women are creation, because we get so connected to creation there. Because if we really think about it, Roxanne, like how incredible are we if we you have children. I know you have children. Your body is a body of creation.
Yeah,
Like that's a magic. That's amazing.
yeah.
So we really get to connect to that experience, not to where it's like, oh, like one of these things. And being in a place that is so free in Costa Rica is like amazing,
Amazing.
amazing.
It's interesting that you say that. We were in Cancun last December, and uh, it was interesting because all the artwork and all the representation and all the statues of women are basically goddesses of fertility, which is not something that we are used to, or that the way that we look at ideal female body of a fertile figure. uh,
Yes.
so that was interesting for me to see the contrast of what's the symbol of being beautiful, in that culture and that era versus what we have now.
You hit it. You hit it right, Roxanne. That's exactly what it is. And that's exactly what this Discover the Goddess retreat is.
Mhm.
Before the recognition that we women are the creators of life, and yes, we need to receive the seed. There's no question about it. But that we are the creators and we hold life inside of us. That
Mhm.
we do that the way it was seen, that we are gods, that we were special. And the way society started to change, it's in looking at pleasure and in looking at women started to shift. And that change really, really damaged us through the years. So this is an opportunity to see ourselves again as goddesses. So it's a really a lot of fun. Women get to choose their goddess. Could be a Greek goddess, could be an Irish goddess. I put goddesses out there in in my Instagram here or there. You can scroll down, you'll find some of that. So you get to choose and you get to see yourself as one. So it's fun and it's exciting, it's healing and it's empowering.
And this is the Instagram handle.
Yes, at Discover Passion with Dr. Luz.
Excellent. Okay. And in case that anybody wants to get in touch with you directly, this is the email that they can contact you with.
Yes, drluzv1 at gmail.com.
Excellent. Okay. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for giving us such a great window into your wonderful work, important work, I should also say.
Yeah.
Is there any final thoughts that you want to leave with the audience? Um,
Yes, I do. Is that we need to look at our bodies as wonder, like this incredible wonder, both men and women, not as something that is to hurt, but as something of a beauty of life that is who we are and what we can the goal in it, the purpose that we have in life. This body is the vehicle that moves us there. So if you can just see that that's who you are, like, oh my gosh, just the discovery and the mystery and the joy is it's amazing. It really, really is amazing when you see yourself as such.
and and uh, and I think the way that you describe it, also, I think you're basically celebrating the human, celebrating the body. Uh,
Yes, totally, Roxanne.
yeah,
Totally, and both masculine and feminine. It's not just a woman, it's both. We just didn't have the education.
yeah,
And now there's more information out there, and the joy that people can have is just incredible. It's beautiful.
it's beautiful. Um, well, this has been, as you said, a lot of fun and amazing. Love the work that you do. Of course, as you said, it's fun, it's educational, and it's also a great service, great important service, because sex is part of life,
Yes,
and
it is.
an important part of life, because without sex, a lot of times you can't have happiness. And
Very true.
and if you can supply that, you supply happiness to your clients, which I'm sure they
Mhm.
cherish tremendously.
Yeah. And just Roxanne, just because of the work that you do, the way it's connected with with work I do, is like when people buy homes, that's like that is like your temple, and
You're
and your sacred temple in the area that is the treasure, that part that is such a sacred area is the bedroom.
right, right.
Yeah, so creating the bedroom in a way that brings us, relax us, brings us peace, and brings us passion.
I had heard from um, a stager who was doing a lot of feng shui practices, that you want to have your bedroom in the middle, and you want to have basically space on both sides, so that the couple can walk around the bed, because without that you don't have flow and you don't have good energy in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Uh, how do you feel about that, and in terms of intimacy, and couples relationship?
I think in terms like of the bedroom setup, you have and as someone who sells homes and understands this whole, you have the room that has the capacity to hold so much space. So
Mhm.
really what you want to set up is a way that the space flows, that there is movement. So sometimes that is allowed, and sometimes if the space is reduced, that may not. But you want to have the feeling that you can kind of move, and you want to have colors that you want to feel like you can connect and just relax. And you also want to have there's some symbols of other things that also bring your passion. So when you connect with your partners, those colors, those symbols stand out there,
Mhm.
or even for yourself. You can feel passion for yourself and have that bedroom that keep you safe and collected and rested, but also make you feel alive.
Right,
So,
right, exactly. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Thank you for this, and also thank you for connecting it to real estate because that's my world.
yes, it is.
So appreciate that. And audience, thank you very much for staying with us. And if you are trying to get in touch with Dr. Luz, here is her website. And also you can find her on Instagram. This is her Instagram handle. And also you can send an email to her. Here's her email address if you want to get in touch with her directly. And we always appreciate you staying with us. And if you are trying to get a hold of me, you can also email me. This is my email address, or you can call or text me at this phone number. And if you like us, we appreciate a thumbs up on our video, and hope to see you next time.